Welcome back to SMC v2.1. Today I have a rather small update for you that is just majorly a number of particle effects and the new owl mobs, and we'll be getting to those in just a second. But first of all, very quickly, we have three new entities that have particle effects, the first of which is the blaze, second of which is the wither skeleton, and the third of which is the ender crystal. Now, each of these entities have actually had this technique applied to them in a very specific way. So obviously, because you're never going to have that many end crystals in one location at one time, and because this particle effect isn't very laggy, every single ender crystal will spawn about this many particle effects around themselves every tick. So you can see that they have a sort of unique effect to them, which is also applied to the nether portal, the enderman as well. So obviously it kind of like shares that aesthetic now of the ender creatures. The wither skeleton now has the same kind of smoking particle effects as the actual wither itself. If I was to spawn a wither, which I think I actually will, hang on, I have a command ready for it, don't I? Wither with no AI and silence. There you go. You can see it also spawns around itself some smoky particles right there. And I just thought it would be a cool aesthetic to have the wither skeleton do a kind of similar thing, as you can see. So wither skeletons themselves will now spawn particle effects around themselves consistently like this, much in the same way that the wither works. I'll just quickly kill him. Yeah. And obviously the blaze as well has the lava particle effect flying off in there. Now, the way that it's applied to these two mobs is actually rather clever. You can actually limit the number of entities that are being targeted by a command at any one time. So, every time the command gets run to summon these particles at a blaze, there is actually a limit of 3 blaze per tick. So if you have any more than 3 blaze, you will start to see that it actually decreases the amount of particles that fly off of them. And the reason why this is done is just simply to reduce lag. Obviously, as I'm sure you can tell, this lava particle having its own trail and plume of particles and calculation of where it's going to fly and landing on blocks, it is quite laggy. If you have a lot of blaze, you will very quickly start to see a lot of lag. But the way this works, with it being a limit of 3, means that at any one time, this command can only be executed at 3 blaze, meaning that you'll only ever have 60 of these particles per tick. This is 20 particles per tick, so, you know, it's not that bad already. You can see having 3 more of this would really not be that bad. If I was actually just go ahead and spawn some more blaze here, you'd see that eventually you'd start to notice that they were spawning less and less particles, and that will be because the game can only target 3 blaze per tick for each of the particle calculations. It's the same with the wither skeleton, but the wither skeleton has a limitation of 10. Now, I can't think of a reason why you would ever see more than 10 wither skeletons in your world. But yeah, there you go. If there's more than 10 wither skeletons, you might notice that they have slightly less particle effects, but you'd have to really be hitting around 20 to 30 wither skeletons to really notice a huge difference. But either way, yeah, it's just to sort of contribute towards lag. Now, aside from these 3 things, we do actually have some new particle effects for the Phantom. Now, this is an entirely custom module, and it will be off by default, but I just wanted to show you guys anyway. So if I do time set 14,000, we're going to go to nighttime here. Now, let me get a Phantom spawned first of all. Now, usually when you play with Minecraft, this is how your phantoms will look. Well, obviously they won't look like this if you're not playing with Skr, but if you do have Skr installed, then they will have this sort of black purple skin and of course the bright red glowing eyes. Now, I decided to make phantoms a little bit more interesting by introducing a new game rule, which is phantom phantoms. So if we do function Scalibur and then mob converter, and then settings, and then phantoms are completely invisible but spawn lots of particles. This is how your phantoms are now going to look in game. It's pretty spooky. It's pretty scary. I think it's much more appropriate for what a phantom should look like. But obviously this is really hard. Like, if you're playing against mobs like this, it's very, very difficult to actually see where they are or where they're going to be going. The only point of reference you really have are the eyes. And then obviously the particle effects that follow the eyes are very, very random. Now, this will get a little bit laggy if you have a lot of phantoms, obviously. But traditionally in Minecraft, if you're playing with SBS or even vanilla Minecraft, you'll only ever really see maybe 2 or 3 phantoms at any one time. So it can't really be that bad, you know. So yeah, these guys look pretty spooky. You know, I think the phantoms look really, really good. But obviously, because this feature is quite experimental and quite strange and, you know, generally just not a good idea if you're playing on an old computer, for example, I have made it so that this is an off by default feature. So if you do want to make use of the phantoms, all you have to do is execute this command, /function Scalibur : mob converter settings phantoms. So there you go. And as mentioned, I have now added owls to Minecraft. So I was wandering around here in a large buffet world for a giant tree tiger, and I found myself some owls, as you can see here. Now, owls will actually rarely spawn as a result of foxes spawning in either regular taiga or giant tree tiger. And I guess that means they also spawn in cold biomes as well, where foxes spawn in like snowy taiga and things like that as well. But yeah, these guys are pretty cool. They look like owls, as you can see. It's an entirely new model that has been designed around the parrot model. Basically, what these guys are, they're just parrots, and I have actually gone into Optifine's custom entity models to design these guys entirely separate heads that can be given different textures. Just based on biome. So yeah, really all it is just a biome-based texture that is using a hidden part of the model that is always there and always present in regular parrots as well. As you can see, these guys do make custom sounds as well. There are multiple skin variants. Obviously, with the parrot having 5 variants of skin, there are 5 variants of owls. We have this sort of reddy brown one here, as you can see. That's probably my favorite one, actually. The first one I designed is kind of a very nice red color. We have a dark gray, a light gray, a mid brown, and a light brown as well. So there are 5 variants of owl. They're sort of, roughly realistic owl textures. Again, if you are wandering about in a giant tiger world like this, whether it be tiger or giant tree tiger or whatever else, obviously beforehand you could find bears in your tiger worlds. Now you can find bears and owls as well. I'm sort of realizing that there is a bit of a focus here on the tiger biome, but maybe we'll stretch out into some other biomes in the future by using some different detection methods is what I'm planning anyway. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this update for SMC. Obviously, I hope you enjoy the owls as well. Working, where Mojang didn't do a great job to improve the tiger biomes, they added foxes and campfires, and I added 2 new mobs. So there you go. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next showcase for any of my data packs. Probably the next showcase is going to be for SBS version 2.1, which will be coming out when Optifine has been updated to 1.15. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, have a very nice life, and I hope it's a good time, and I'd like to say goodbye, mate. Thank you for watching. Bye.